should probably talk about something that isn't England. So let's talk about some of the other big stories that have been going on in the World Cup in the past few days. And most notably, actually, there are some of the big teams in the tournament so far who haven't really got out of the starting blocks yet. We're not one of them because we won. But Germany losing to Mexico, Brazil only got a draw, Argentina only got a draw. From what you guys have watched so far, Tom, we'll start with you. Which teams fans should be most worried out of these big teams? Is it Germany because they lost? Argentina because Messi didn't look like anything like on form? Who should be worried?
I think if you lose any opening game, you're going to be immediately concerned. I mean, saying that, Spain lost their first game in 2010 to Switzerland 1-0 and then ended up winning the whole competition. So it is still very early doors, but I mean, it's a massive uphill battle from there, even for the likes of Germany. I think in terms of performance-wise, Argentina didn't look very convincing whatsoever. I mean, Spain as well, we had a draw. So I think it's one World Cup where there's no clear favourite. Even France in victory didn't look like they were convincing against
Australia.
Yeah. Sorry, minnow team. But yeah, I think again the encouraging thing for England today. I don't want to be one of those people that say England's going to win the World Cup and all that sort of stuff, even though they are. We are. But it's anyone's tournament, I think.
Yeah, it's exciting. Germany's obviously the most serious case because they actually lost rather than
that was
drew.
Great. Oh, that was so good.
First of all, how cool was it to see how much it meant to the Mexico players? Chicharito had tears streaming down his face at the end.
Well, you as a Mexican player, as a Mexican team, or any team in that group, you go into it thinking, I've got the world champions coming in. The amount of hype beforehand. The German press were saying they have 3 full squads who could win the World Cup of players. Which, to be fair, they have such strength in depth. It's unbelievable. But we were so happy.
Yeah.
It was one of the best moments of the World Cup so far. Seeing that German team lose and going in Monday morning back into my office on the wall chart behind us and just putting 1-0 to Mexico on the wall was such a good feeling moment.
And somewhere Leroy Sané is smiling, I'm sure.
I mean, what a ridiculous mission.
It's also nice to see the smaller teams actually having a real go at the bigger teams.
Yeah.
I mean, Mexico,
let's let Mexico aren't a small team.
No, in terms of World Cup performance, they generally get to the second round quarterfinals at most.
The great thing about Mexico doing well, I felt the same about Colombia 4 years ago as well. They're a proper footballing country. They're football mad in Mexico, and what that result will have meant to that country.
Well, Mexico City, they had a low-level earthquake.
Yeah.
Because of this, the atmosphere from fans when they won that game.
We were just saying as well before we came on air actually that when the World Cup goes partly to Mexico in 2026, that's going to be a hell of a party, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
incredible stuff.
Armchair Fancast streaming live from Cancun.
We might go on the beach.
Maybe Rafa Marquez will still be captain in Mexico. Yeah. 5 World Cups in a row. Can he make it 7?
Madness.
What was wrong with Germany then? So was there? Do you think should they be really, really worried, or is it just a case of they just had an off day?
They look flat. They look devoid of ideas. They look like the England team of the first of previous World Cups where they weren't able to get things going. There was no linkages between that midfield and that forward line, and they weren't able to penetrate and get through and try and break that Mexican defence. And they set up very well. Their Mexican team knew exactly what they needed to do to break down that German team, to be able to score on the counter, and then to stop Germany from scoring. And if that's something that we've seen this in the Premier League as well, we've seen this across European leagues. Teams are setting up and are much better now in the recent tactical era of being able to set up and stop a team from scoring and be able to nick one on the counter and then stop any play coming forward at them. And if that's something we see at the World Cup, if the story of this World Cup going forward from the group stages is lower teams, like minnow teams, being able to shut down the attacks of big, favourite nations, then that is a tactical genius masterclass going forward.
I think we also can't underestimate the players that Germany have lost in the last 4 years. I mean, although they were getting on quite a bit, the likes of Klose, Schweinsteiger and Lahm are effectively their spine, and they've replaced them with Werner, whose goal-scoring record for Germany and in the Bundesliga is very good, but on the international stage it's very difficult to transfer that onto. So I think they may be missing players like that, and it's up for the likes of Kroos and Khedira to really step up and drag that German team.
Brazil, Argentina, what do you reckon? Either of them should be worried?
Messi took the blame of that entire game on his shoulders, but I thought it was ridiculous.
What a storyline, by the way. Ronaldo scores a penalty, hits a free kick, Messi misses both.
I think that's more a chip on Ronaldo's shoulder, to be honest. That he's always comparing himself to Messi.
Yes.
I think Messi doesn't care.
Yeah.
But he knows he's that good. But it was very interesting seeing afterwards that people say, Hernan Crespo said that Messi is not as good as Maradona in the sense that Maradona could carry that Argentina team through, and Messi cannot do the same.
And you get the impression that Ronaldo can. Like the way that you can see Cristiano Ronaldo literally taking that game like by the scruff of his neck.
And forcing it through that team was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I think Brazil, it was just difficult, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's just they're not playing very. And this was true in the qualifying, even though they played very well in the South American qualifying. They're not playing very Brazilian. The style that Tite's got them playing is actually kind of a little bit negative for Brazil.
I think, I mean, obviously I don't watch that much South American club football, but he was formerly like Corinthians manager, and he often plays with like two holding midfielders and that sort of thing. So I think we're seeing a new Brazil, and they still have a lot of flair going forward. And they have lots of Coutinho, they have Firmino coming off the bench, so they still have elements of that. But I think it's more. I think they don't want another repeat of 4 years ago where they got humbled by Germany because they were trying to play this expansive game with. Although they had Fred up front 4 years ago.
Lastly, very, very quickly, because we've overrun as we tend to do, but Belgium. So Belgium was the other team I wanted to talk about. Even though they won 3-0, 3-0 doesn't really tell the story of the game because they were actually pretty unconvincing. Watching that, and this was before we played, obviously, but I thought, there's actually less to worry about with this Belgium team than I was initially thinking. A little bit.
I don't know. I think you can still see De Bruyne turning it on. His assist for Lukaku's first goal was still absolutely class. I don't think we really have players like De Bruyne like being able to hit those balls from like central midfield and that sort of thing. So I'm still worried about.
Yeah, and I think also that it's the thing with that Belgian team is that you have certain players you can turn it on for 5 minutes out of the 90. And that can completely change the game and score them 2 goals. Lukaku turned it on for like 10-15 minute period, or instant Spurs with those things, and scored 2 goals.
We're going to smash
like
it.
De Bruyne to turn it on and managed to put that through. So whereas with England, you don't get the same feeling that if Kane turns it on for 10 minutes, he scores 2 goals.
Yeah.
You get this, with Lukaku, he can drag that Belgian team, as can other players. They can drag that team through that period and score those goals and make the crucial difference that unfortunately that England team can't.
What we've got to stop at doing, what I was expecting you to say, or hoping of you to say, was no, we're going to smash them 5 minutes. If you can just say that, then I'll be happy.
I beat them on FIFA 5-0, so we'll
leave that. There we are. Well, we'll find out. There's an intriguing situation in several groups going on. Let us know who you think is not going to make it out of their group, out of these big dogs in the World Cup, so to speak, and we'll discuss that more, I'm sure, over the next week or two.